Hi everyone, I'm Robert and I'm the inventor of Bounce Metronome and Tune Smithy, and I'm here to show you multi-touch in Bounce Metronome. So here we have this multi-touch screen. Now, just to make it easier to see what's going on, it's a little bit of a small screen, this one, so I've echoed it onto this larger screen to make it easier for you to see what's going on. So as you hear, it's got two notes. You can play two notes at once. That's the koto, which is a plucked zither type instrument, traditional Japanese instrument. That's the shakuhachi, which is the end-blown flute, and this is played on a traditional koto tuning, which is a 5 notes tuning, which goes up one way and down the other way, rather similar to our melodic minor. So it goes up via a minor 7th, comes down by a major 6th, like that. So you see that note is changing tuning on the way up and on the way down. But anyway, that is beside the point. I'm not here to talk about tunings, particularly, though I will a little bit when I get to the tonality diamond, just for context. So, as you see, it's very fast and responsive. It's really very beautiful. This is certainly not your. This is a reasonably low-powered netbook. It's got an Atom processor, very energy efficient, not the latest either. So it's got no graphic acceleration, but it's got multi-touch is working absolutely fine, totally playable. But it's only got 2 fingers multi-touch. 2 fingers multi-touch is the norm nowadays. If you're thinking about getting a multi-touch device and you want more than 2 fingers, then you need to check very carefully. And sometimes even the manufacturer will say it's got 10 fingers. The Asus, for one of their machines, said they got 10-finger multi-touch, but when it was eventually released, it's only had 2 fingers. So you've got to be very careful the model you're buying. If you want 10 fingers, you'll have to be careful that you get the right one. The iPad has 10-finger multi-touch. This can't run on an iPad though. It's a Windows program, and in order to have something for an iPad, I would have to write it from scratch. So, but there are 10-finger computers around, 10-finger multi-touch. There's one by Samsung. There's the Samsung Series 7 Slate, and that is used. It's the developer preview PC for Windows 8. The next version of Windows 8 is going to be multi-touch. It's going to be designed for touch devices. It'll come out in about a year from now, probably, and so I imagine then, when that comes, then you will get lots of Windows 7 devices with touch. At the moment, Windows devices with touch are rare, because it doesn't work. Windows doesn't work very well with touch because the icons are too small, and the ones that do come out, they often have a custom program sitting on top in order to help you to deal with these shortcomings of Windows. But hopefully that will all be fixed with Windows 8, and then you might well get lots of Windows multi-touch devices, and it looks as if they may very well have 10-finger multi-touch. You can even get more than 10 fingers. At the moment, if you want multi-touch one way or another, you're going to be spending well over £1,000 either on a laptop with 10-finger multi-touch or else on a dedicated monitor which can have more than maybe 20. There's one even with 60-finger multi-touch, very large monitor. But anyway, so I don't expect many of you, not many people even have touch Windows devices yet. You have to be quite geeky to want to have one of those. because, as I say, Windows doesn't work that well with touch yet. But if you happen to have one of these, then you can now try Bounce Metronome. Well, you will in a few days be able to try it out with touch. And so, if you happen to have 10-finger multi-touch, I think this will work with 10 fingers. I haven't yet tried it properly with 10 fingers, except I have done it by adding extra mice. And there's a way of using mice to add extra touch points, just for a developer's trick, a way of adding, if you have lots of mice connected to your keyboard, each one controls a different touch point on the screen. So I've tried it like that, but it's not the same as using it on a proper, like 10-finger capable device. So I can't say for sure it works, but I think it probably will, because there's an enormous difference in the programming. So, update later once I get a chance to try it out on 10-finger devices. So I'll be adding multi-touch to Bounce Metronome in the near future, not just for this. I'll also use it for when you're changing the volumes of notes. You can change the volume of several notes at once, or you can change the timing of several notes at once and that sort of thing. But meanwhile, this will be useful for the fractal tunes in Bounce Metronome, and for the Theremin's Rhythmicon, the virtual Rhythmicon, and for the harmonic polyrhythms. If you happen to have a touch screen, I wouldn't say it was worth getting touch especially for it, not for Bounce Metronome really, but if you happen to have one, you know, it could be quite fun and useful. So and I suppose, well, you know, if you're really into these things, you could get a multi-touch monitor as well to add into your machine, because then you have the best of both ways. Your primary display, you can run Windows on, and you can use your monitor as a multi-touch musical instrument. Now, of course, you can't feel where the keys are, so that's one thing that hands-on discover, but you can play it. It's a bit like playing a fretless instrument. You're like playing violin or something. You get to know where the notes are, so you don't need to necessarily look. But I'm not, you know, especially if I hold it. You know, I can sort of feel where it is. I haven't been using it for long, and I think I could learn to be able to just play a note just by feeling where it is. And I think eventually you would. I'm planning to do continuous versions of this as well. So there's something called a continuum keyboard you can buy, which is a very nice kind of hardware keyboard which is continuous rather than a normal piano keyboard, where you can just hold down two notes and you can have any pitch you like just by varying the position of your finger. So it's like a fretless keyboard. So that is a thing that would be really rather nice to implement on the screen, a fretless version of this. Oh, what's that that's come up? Oh, yeah, it does that sometimes. I really don't know why. There's Internet Explorer. Sometimes it just pops up on this machine. I haven't yet figured out why it does that. Anyway, it's not even my default browser, which is Chrome. Anyway, that's the so that's Bounce Metronome and multi-touch capabilities of Bounce Metronome, and hope you have a bit of fun. If you have a multi-touch display, you'll be able to try it out quite soon. And I have lots of ideas for the future of developing this in other ways, you know, like I say, the continuum keyboard, split keyboards and stuff like that, split key keyboards and 3D musical geometries. But the one other possibility I can show you right away is the Landoma, which is like a diamond arrangement. I've got the standard musical keyboard, but that's not working yet, because I haven't programmed it yet for multi-touch. In fact, I'll just show you that just now, because it shows you, this is the ordinary keyboard. I haven't yet programmed multi-touch. I'll show you some of the issues I had to face in order to develop it. So when I first tried to develop multitouch, I was very puzzled because you've got stuff like this, you play a note and there's no sound. And then that ring appears, and when the ring disappears, you eventually hear your note. So I'm most curious, why can't I don't hear any note until after that ring disappeared, and what's that ring all about? But then I found out the ring is a way of doing right click on a touch screen in Windows. If you hold it, now if you release when the ring is still visible, you get your right click menu. So it is quite useful. It's obviously useful, you obviously need that. You need a way of doing right click, but it makes playing impossible, so you have to disable it. You also have to disable palm detection, and you have to disable, I'm not plugged in. Now just not this one. Right now. So you have to disable palm reach, palm detection. Anyway, I won't go into all that. I will make some source code available for developers to help maybe doing it more quickly than I did. Let's go on to the Tune Smithy Lambdoma. This is the Tune Smithy Lambdoma. If you look very closely, by the way, these lines are slightly jagged. That is because this is a rather underpowered. It's, as I say, it's an atom optimized for long life rather than low power, rather than for speed. And it's not the latest atom. The earlier atoms, it's the N450. I'm just talking about the chip that's in here. The N450. Its integrated graphics is really very minimal. It hasn't got any 3D acceleration, and it's very slow at anti-aliasing. So I switched off the aliasing, and so it will play quickly. But more recent versions of the Atom, they are fine, should be fine for this sort of thing, I think. And certainly if you've got a separate graphics card. So anyway, that's just to explain why it's not the best quality of visuals on the screen. But it'll show you the multi-touch fine. So, multi-touch Lambdoma. So the Lambdoma, it's an arrangement where you have the overtone series this way, and you have the undertone series this way. So this is the overtone series, and those are like the notes of, say, a natural horn, or people are playing notes on like drain pipes and things like that. They play the overtone series, and the overtone series actually also if you have the ear for it, you can hear the individual pitches in notes made up of individual pitches that help to make up the characteristic sound of a note, such as violin or bassoon or something. And certainly if you analyze it with special software, you can find out that all the pitches are in the overtone series. And so the overtone series, and also notes in the same overtone series tend to sound very nice together, very harmonious. So anyway, it's a very harmonious arrangement of notes. That is the long and short of it. And these are multiples of the bass frequency. So that's double the bass frequency, that's 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and so on. And this way, you have half the bass frequency, third, quarter, and fifth, and so on, that way. That's going down, that's under the series. Half, quarter, third, a half, a third, a quarter, a fifth, and so on. And this way is the overtone series is like a major sound to it. You've actually got a major chord in the middle there, and that makes a dominant seventh. That is the harmonic seventh. It's like it makes it like a dominant seventh, but because it's tuned to the harmonic, to the seventh harmonic, then it is very harmonious sounding. In fact, you can rest on a harmonic dominant seventh. That you could conclude a piece from that. This way, minor. This is the minor, your minor chord, and here's your septimal minor, which is this is the justly tuned harmonic series based minor third, but slightly sharper than the equal tempo minor third, not very much in it. This is the septimal minor, which is distinctly flatter, like that. And some musicians may sometimes play a septimal minor. Sometimes they might play, or the musicians on, say, violin, might find that they're playing a very flat minor third. It's also used in blues, bluesy minor third, and that is very probably the septimal minor that they're being attracted towards when you play like that. So anyway, that's the septimal minor, which is part of the undertone. You get this interval between the these two notes, like that, and that's like you can use the two notes in the undertone series. So anyway, this is now got multitouch, like that. And now I'll show you the rhythms abdomen. So if you click on this, you get to start getting a rhythm. And this is this whole idea is this is the tonality diamond, as it's known by two microtonalists, but it's used in music therapy, and a music therapist would probably know it as the lambdoma. It's who's involved in this particular line of music therapy. It was developed by Barbara Hero, though the arrangement of pitches goes right back to Pythagoras, and she just found it was therapeutic, and it's used to help people with trauma and illness, in addition to the conventional treatment. And I don't know anything though about the harmonic side, about the therapeutic side of things, but I can well understand this very harmonious arrangement of pitches, and I can understand it could be of therapeutic value. Anyway, Barbara Hero, she suggested many of the ideas in the work. It's all based on her ideas, and the colours and the way it's arranged and things. And she suggested that idea of the tempo of the note depends on the pitch. So if you have double the frequency, that's like an octave, and it's played twice as fast. So that would be like, and this is actually the rhythm sound, it will actually do it. So hold it down, and that's the tempo of the bass frequency. Now this one should play twice as fast. This one should play 3 times as fast. And this one should play 4 times as fast. And so on. 5 times as fast. And that is 3/5 polyrhythm. That's like 3/4 polyrhythm. And so on. So you can play polyrhythms, and you can play harmonic polyrhythms on here. And all the way up this harmonic series, that's like Theremin's rhythmicon. Each of these rows is like Theremin's virtual rhythmicon, if you have tried that out. It's the same, exactly the same idea. And in fact, you can get a 16 by 16 version of this, where you have like 16 rhythmicons basically in subharmonic series this way, and which you can play. And obviously now you can play them with multi-touch, and well, you will do once it is ready. As I say, there's a bit of a bug there. So here that's not repeating. This is just because it's mid-edit. It's nothing to worry about at all. I will fix that. I just haven't finished programming the multi-touch for the rhythms lambdoma. It's not quite ready for use yet. But here it's ready enough, so I felt it would be useful to show it to you. So that's the rhythms lambdoma, and right. So I think I've probably said everything. I'm not sure, I can't remember all the things I've said actually, but hopefully this is most of the stuff I was going to talk about. So if you've got any questions or any ideas or thoughts for that matter, then do get in touch with me. If you know where I hang out, there's the Bounce Metronome or Harmonic Alliance, or if you the Bounce Metronome Facebook forum, or just Bounce Metronome Facebook. It's just announcements at the moment, basically, but you can reply to those announcements if you want to, or you can send me an email to support@bouncemetronome.com, and that will always get to me. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, comment to the video and talk to me that way. Any questions, ideas, suggestions? I'm very interested to hear about anything, and I hope you have lots of fun with this. I think it's if you happen to have a multi-touch screen, then there's a bit of fun when Bounce Metronome, the next version of Bounce Metronome comes up. You will be able to try this out. If you happen to have 10 fingers, multi-touch, you'll be able to actually use it like a musical instrument, really. And I will be developing that much more in the future, doing on-screen musical instruments, especially when I get the chance to return to Tune Smithy 4. I'll see if I can get Tune Smithy 4 ready by, because you see, if you're not involved, if you don't know about it, I've been programming Bounce Metronome for the last couple of years. I really haven't done much on Tune Smithy. But hopefully I'll get some time. Maybe I can manage to get it on the way before Windows 8, new new touch-friendly version of Windows. If I can get this ready for the touch-friendly Windows 8, it would be a good time to have an update of Tune Smithy to Tune Smithy 4. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope at least some of the things I said may have been of some interest or value. I hope I haven't wasted your time too much. To say if you have any questions or ideas. Thanks very much.